You're listening to the Caramel Apples podcast, the apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet. Have you ever found after watching a commercial jingle, you feel the need to, get in your car and go get a certain product? Not just because of what you heard, but because of what you saw. You know that key component of advertising. Here's part 2 of Mascots with Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee. So we're going to unpack this caramelicious topic. We're so excited to be here for another episode of Mascots right here on Retro Truck with the Caramel Apples. Before we get into that, make sure to subscribe. Say hello to us on the socials. We love hearing your retro memories of the nostalgic parts of life that really give you those warm, fuzzy feel-goods. And cruise on over to buymeacoffee.com/RetroTrekwithTheCaramelApples. And hit us up with some nice caffeine. We need a little pick-me-up. We'll get into that in a little bit. Thanks a latte.
That's right. We always need our coffee.
You said it.
That is the fuel of choice. Well, we're revisiting this whole interesting topic about mascots because, this, as Gen Xers, this was a theme in our childhood.
Yeah.
Like, at every and any turn, you'd watch TV, listen to the radio. Like, it was all around you. You go to your mall, go to your local store, big box store, grocery store, everywhere.
Yep.
You were just bombarded by all these 3D live action examples of how they wanted to get your money in Mascots.
Yeah, and as far as the kids are concerned, we didn't get the whole premise, but the parents were like, oh, here we go.
I bet they did.
They could hear their money growing wings and flying away.
Yeah, but as we mentioned, in our last episode, that Mascots really helped a young mind in our generation and even generations prior to hold fast to certain products, food items, toys in a major way.
Yeah.
So as we said, this really does something to the human brain because it said it helped fuel the endless and mindless begging for XYZ from kids or young ones for their parents to obtain these things. But there was something baked in there for the parents too. They don't have to beg anybody. They had the pocketbooks for this. And if they had some hankering for something to eat or some snack,
yeah,
or going on vacation or whatever, this advertising was built for them too.
Oh yeah, like we mentioned before, it definitely worked on all ages.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, it's a fuel, and they know it, and it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Thank goodness. I mean, it's kind of much like everything else we talk about. You think sometimes, has it really kind of run its course? Because, wash, rinse, repeat. We've seen and experienced a good bit of stuff out there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they still do it, and it does still kind of work. Because, there's now newer generations that want to go out and buy the latest smartphones, or they want to go out and, I don't know if they're really big into fashion, but they're big into self-care and making themselves, because everybody's a celebrity and influencer now, so
Mm-hmm.
young ones, they're doing their thing, but they're living more adult existences, whereas we dreamed about it.
Yeah,
but we had stuff more easily accessible in the way of products, buying, purchasing, and all that stuff, and a lot of the times it was driven by our influence by mascots for said company or whatever. So, win-win, I guess, for them and us.
Yeah. And it's really exciting when you do bring it up to present day because we are a nostalgic channel, and there's such a contrast now.
Yes, there is.
There are some similarities, but it is a stark contrast.
It really
So,
is.
so it's interesting to still be alive and able to talk about it, and not so far off in the distance that you can't really drum up the memories. So, yeah,
Right.
let's get into it.
Okay. So, like, I remember some of our first memories was seeing a lot of the mascots parading and dancing around and entertaining us in fast food, in the fast food realm.
Yeah.
And this was exciting to us because at the time, our generation more, I think we ate at home more. Like, if you wanted some fast food, that was a treat.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, this is a conversation that you can have with anybody from our time period, and it's like it's just to eat at home now costs as much as it did to eat out back in the day. So you're not, that used to be the cost savings back in the day. Like you said, it was a treat. And those mascots, yeah, you'd be excited to see them or see pictures of them at the restaurant. Or one of the ones we're going to talk about in particular, there was actually areas there a little later as we were growing up, like the play place and stuff. Like they had they had little replicas and stuff that you could actually kind of interact with. It's kind of like the beginning of that.
That's true. And we know who she's talking about. But another one before, because we're not going to go long on this one, was in, the same similar realm, was Burger King. And it might have been a copy off of the one we're getting ready to dive into. But this one had a king, which was Burger King, and it was the monarch, the actual
Yep.
king. And they have revisited this in recent years in the commercials because it's like this huge head. He looks kind of creepy, actually, but.
Right.
And I vaguely remember it back when we were younger, but that was part of what was baked into their commercials and stuff to pull the consumer in and come get one of the best hamburgers or cheeseburgers at the time around.
Oh,
Oh,
they were phenomenal, weren't they?
oh my goodness, you could smell that in the air. Burger King rock, but
Yeah, and do you remember once you got there as a kid, they also offered the little fake, what do you call it when you put it on your head? The
oh, the crown.
paper. Yes, it wasn't coming. Do you remember, like, you could get the crown? It was really for kids, but you'd see adults wearing them too, being silly and stuff. But, it kind of puts you into the experience as well because you're at Burger King. You think of the king himself, and you were able to have your own paper crown. So that was kind of cool too.
I think they still pass those out.
I think they do. I haven't been there forever. Oops.
Yeah, we do very rarely. Like, we don't really eat out a lot of fast food, not because we can't afford it. Back in the day, it was like we were a little more of humble means, but
Yeah.
now stuff is just not that good.
Yeah, it's more about quality these days.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, we touched on Burger King. That was a good memory just from the food memories alone on that one. And yes, the mascots helped us go, hey, let's go there.
Yeah.
But we're going to go into McDonald's. Everybody, everywhere, it's in other countries, knows of or wants to go to McDonald's for something. And one of their mascots that, like the king, the monarch for Burger King, was the redheaded clown, or better known as Ronald McDonald.
Yep.
So again, you go anywhere and he's not really portrayed, I don't think, much anymore. It's more of a nostalgic thing. He's not really portrayed much, and he's not in the commercials now. It's just, people going, people behind the
Right.
counter, or more about, okay, yeah, we got McCafes, like the iced coffee, frozen coffee offerings. They're up on the times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But back when we were kids, like the commercials had the little puppets.
They did. Like you just enjoyed watching it, because it would just kind of bleed in from whatever cartoons and stuff you were watching. Those commercials would fade in, and then you'd have, as you mentioned, the puppets. They were very entertaining, and
They
they
were
became
cute.
toys.
Yeah.
They were. They were very cute. And that made us want to go to McDonald's. McDonald's?
It did, but I never liked their food much outside of a couple of things. Really liked their
Yeah.
breakfast, which was
Yep.
the early bird. Go ahead.
Oh.
Lighten up. Breakfast time. Huh? It sure doesn't look like morning.
I can't be an early bird in the dark. What's wrong with the sun, Ronald?
Fly me there, birdie, and I'll look into it.
You betcha.
Things are looking up already.
How much farther, Ronald?
We must be close.
Okay. So the other three, when they got up through the clouds and everything, because, obviously we're an audio podcast at this point, but they ran into the Fry Guys, and there's three of them.
They were cute too.
They looked like psychedelic jellyfish. Like they look like felt jellyfish.
Yeah, or like pom-poms.
Okay, yeah, with legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were cute. Like everybody was super friendly and happy.
They were. And like with Early Bird, because it's been a minute since I've seen her, but didn't she have like little goggles, a little scarf, and a leather bomber? Wasn't she like a little aviator?
She was.
So cute.
That is cute. She is adorable.
Yeah. I mean, and even just the cartoony sound of the commercial, like it just lent itself to sound very similar to what you were already watching, and you just stayed engaged, right? You weren't you weren't ready to leave the TV anytime soon. So the Mascots, man.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. They did their job.
TV, a lot of the media offerings were angled toward children and young people.
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, that was a huge boom like that. I mean, because like I never cared for their hamburgers, still don't. But people do. Some people are definitely McDonald's fans, and they had the characters for that. They had Hamburglar. They had, wasn't there another one? There was two of them. There was the officer.
Oh gosh, I forgot about him.
One of them was a double hamburger, and then there was the little Hamburglar.
Yes, the little double hamburger was the cop, wasn't he?
I think so.
Oh, I don't even remember his name, but totally remember him.
And then, of course, our purple friend, Grimace.
That's right.
He's cute.
And I think all of these guys were in the McDonald's Land cookies.
Oh, and we had good memories about the cookies.
Yeah, they were very, very good.
Yeah, that was a good memory with our mama, because she was a good storyteller, and we were, wide-eyed and fascinated with the way she told stories, and she would, she would make little stories around the little cookies she'd pull out, and she was trying to instruct us or whatever, but then what would she do?
She'd eat those cookies.
She'd put them in there, and they'd be screaming. She'd put them in her mouth and be like, ah!
No, please, no.
So our eyes were even wider, because we're like, did she just murder Ronald? Did she just murder Early Bird?
She's a mess. Mama, she had a sense of humor, right? Like and it worked. Like here we are, and how old are we? We're still talking about it. It made an impression.
It did. And then they had the little puppets of the Nuggets that came along later. So it's like they really had an empire built around these and play places with the specific characters, strategically placed within the playground.
Yep.
Then you felt like you were playing alongside or dwelling alongside your favorite mascots or characters. So, that was a brilliant, brilliant undertaking for the actual fast food joint.
Yeah. And, with that, It's been fun talking about the mascots because McDonald's was laden with mascots. But it's neat because, as you mentioned, the mascots were really playing a key role, especially the ones that you could see physically on TV.
Yeah.
They played a key role for the children, and that did not get lost when they did like the PSAs for kids.
Mm-hmm.
You had like, I think was his name Crime McGruff? What was his name? For crime. Oh, McGruff is still in my head, but I can't remember what his first name was.
Oh, yes. Give me a second. I hope I can find it. Yeah, what you say about him, though?
Well, the fact that he was a dog, and as far as I can remember, he was more like an animated. I don't remember if they actually had someone like in costume and wearing the outfit or not, but I do remember him being like a drawing or whatever. So you had McGruff. You also had another PSA was Woodsy Owl.
Oh no, okay, and Coop loves owls. That's one of her favorite animals. So she was especially drawn to old sweet Woodsy.
That's right.
So, help Woodsy spread the word. Come on, never be a dirty bird.
Come on.
Give a hoot. Don't hoot. Never be a dirty bird. In the city or in the woods. Help keep America looking good.
Hoot hoot hoot!
Well, now I think that resonated.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, everything back then was tailored for young people. So like, the kids were following and skipping along on the playground or in the woods or whatever, and he was like their little leader, their little band leader, and
That's it. That's it. And he was the little stuffed guy, and he was human size. So
yeah.
he really, that one would come on and you would sing along. Not gonna lie. You totally sing along with that one and sing later. But there was another one that was PSA ish for children, Smokey the Bear.
Yes, yes, oh yes.
Smokey the Bear. Look, we grew up not wanting to start forest fires, wanting to keep, our forest clean and watching out for the strangers. So, I mean, the PSA's work, these mascots do their job.
They really do. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, we got tons to talk about, so we're going to do a couple more real quick. We're about to wind this part 2 discussion down, but one I'm thinking of, and it was really cute, is a lot of people think about the little the PC correct way of saying how children come around to the world. Storks back in the day.
Yeah.
So this particular stork, he wasn't delivering children all over the households of the world. He actually was into pickles.
Yeah. Completely.
So we got the Vlasic pickle stork, and I think he kind of had that like vaudeville personality, like we'd like, hey, come here, you want a pickle or something like that.
Absolutely. Yes. Completely. He did. The
Yeah.
plastic pickle guy. Yeah, totally remember the bird.
And again, these mascots are like you think Vlasic Pickles, he pops right in your head, especially from our generation.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there was other pickles on the market, but probably not a whole lot. We're still talking about, decades gone by. But the fact that when you think of pickles, you probably do think of Vlasic before you think of another brand because of the branding.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Which is what they're going for. They want you to think of their product first because of the mascot and the emotional connection. Like it all goes hand in hand, full circle. That's the goal. And then when other people start getting into the space, they start doing the same thing, trying to find little ways of drawing people in so they also can make you think of their product as well. But these ones that we've talked about, that's what has the staying power because they've been around for a long time.
And I do hate that they have pulled back on using mascots with stuff.
Yeah.
Because things are just so whitewashed and bland, like, I mean, commercials are bland, they just want you to spend your money. They're just like, so we want money from you, so spend your money, like they don't even try to make it fun for people or kids anymore. It's, they're changing logos on things. They're just more boring and standard instead of having character like they used to. And
Yeah, and something I don't know if you've noticed as well with the advertising and mascots, it's becoming way more human. Like you have people who are becoming the mascots of some of these like insurance companies,
yes.
pizza joints, especially, whatever season we're in for sports. Those people, the people who are hierarchy in the sports realm, those are the ones who are becoming the advertising fodder for some of these companies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like you can tell there's so many ties between these people, but you don't see them until their sport is what's on TV. Then you start seeing them again in those commercials. It's just very seasonal, but they're still mascots. It's kind of weird, kind of weird, but that's the direction they're going in. Everybody seems to be doing it.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of that before we end, there is actually one specific insurance company, I won't name them, but their claim to fame or their claim to being relevant is the fact that they don't offer mascots in their commercials. Like that is literally what they
Yes.
say.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And the last one I saw, I just saw it like a couple nights ago, and they have a bunch of mascots walking across a crosswalk, and everybody's looking
Yeah.
at them and waving at them and stuff. I'm like, boy, that is so sad. I mean, you really should actually implement them, but that's how they say or claim that they're keeping your insurance costs down with this particular company. So
That's funny.
it
That's
is
that's
funny.
really interesting too, because it's like it lends itself to our conversation.
That's quite
It's
the
just
180.
it is.
Well, we got more for you, so hang in there with us. I mean, this is a fun topic because it really does take us back to our better Gen X days.
That's it. And again, feel free to weigh in. Let us know what jingles or what mascots comes to mind when you think of a particular brand or product or whatever. Feel free to hit us up on the socials. That's it for part 2. Stay tuned for part 3 of this apple snack. There's way more where that came from. Don't look for any time soon for the caramel apples to be leaving this topic. See you on the other side.